Yeas pour 222, 222. Nays contre 60, 60.
Motion adoptée.
All right, this week saw a rare show of nonpartisan support of Liberal bill. MPs from all parties passed the bill that would stop insurance companies' employers from compelling you to hand over your genetic records. And yet, the Prime Minister personally lobbied his MPs to vote against it, even though it was sponsored by one of his own backbenchers, Ontario MP Rob Oliphant. Justin Trudeau called the bill unconstitutional, even though constitutional experts said that's wrong. Undeterred, Trudeau's Justice Minister plans to refer the matter to the Supreme Court. That means insurers could continue to deny critical health coverage to Canadians based on DNA tests or even refusing a DNA test, which is why Rob Oliphant says he's disappointed in the Justice Minister's move. What exactly is behind the government's opposition to this bill? We're back with the Sunday Scrum. Susan Riley, John Ibbotson, and Denise Ciele joining me live from Ottawa. John, what do you think is going on here?
Well, there could be a bit of a backbench revolt, just to remind Justin Trudeau the Liberal caucus is still there and still matters. It's, I suspect, a very popular bill. I support the bill. We are in uncharted territory with DNA testing, and privacy rights should be paramount. People should not compel you to have a DNA test. That information should not be available to your employer or to an insurance company or to the government, for that matter. That said, the insurance companies have a point. If you are gravely, gravely ill, if the doctor has told you have only a few months to live, and you apply for life insurance, you're required to disclose to the insurance companies that you only have a few weeks or a few months to live. If you don't, the policy could be invalidated. So there is a right on the part of insurers to reasonable information about the state of your health. I don't think that should allow them to compel a DNA test or to receive the results of that DNA test. But it's a gray area, and I can understand the Liberal government feeling queasy about it.
Yeah, what do you think, Denise?
Well, you know, the thing is, aside from the component around the potential for insurance rates to go up, which I think the insurance companies are making a very, very strong case around that, what is interesting to me is looking at provinces and territories. So we've heard from only 3 of them thus far. And so there's 10 who really haven't put their position on the table. So really, at the very face of it, Trudeau's position and the cabinet's position around the unconstitutionality of this bill is problematic. What is also strikes me is,
what do you mean it's problematic? That it's not true? That it's not that it's not true?
Well, really, you know, in the absence of having hearing from provinces and territories, at least 10 of them, in terms of how they view that would impact their jurisdictional ability around their Human Rights Act. So there's something going on here. What also strikes me as really interesting is that, you know, with Trudeau really trying to get his caucus to vote against this bill, and we have a large majority of them saying no. There's another question there around, you know, would he really have the support of the caucus, and what's going on there?
What do you mean? What's your suspicion?
You know, my sense is that in the absence of him being able to convince the Liberal Party caucus members to vote the way he wants, and really only the cabinet and a percentage of parliamentary secretaries, you know, is that influence really there? And let's see in future votes, right, what really happens.
Okay, if there's a divide between the Prime Minister and the caucus, he whipped his cabinet on this, but what's happening there? All right, Susan, what's your take on what's happening with the genetic bill?
My take is that the Prime Minister is acting as an advocate for the insurance industry against the interests of Canadians, including middle-class Canadians and those trying hard to join them, right? He's supporting the insurance companies and those trying hard to work for them. I think it's absolutely off-brand, but I also think it's wrong on his part. Very revealing and actually very discouraging. The best for anybody who's kind of idealizes Trudeau and hope that he really would be on the side of the people, so to speak. I think that the backbench revolt was a very good thing and a healthy sign of democracy. There was a second rebuke to the Prime Minister and his office last week, when in the riding, Montreal riding, yes, when their favored candidate, Yolande James, did not win. In fact, the third candidate won, a 26-year-old high school teacher. So that also was essentially the voters in that, the Liberals in that riding saying, to heck with you, we're going to do what we want. That's what Trudeau was promoting and promising.
Denise,
and now it's coming back to bite him.
Do you think it was off-brand and an error on Trudeau's part, this voting, whipping his cabinet and voting against the bill?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, anyone reading or having a sense of what this bill is about, it makes sense in so many ways, and that you have, the NDP and the Conservatives supporting it. It really is, there's a suspicion there around why this, number one, this suggestion that there will be a referral to the Supreme Court around the unconstitutionality, when the facts really just don't bear in terms of the provinces are saying, well, look, we don't yet have an opinion on where this is. So maybe, the tactic, there's a tactic there clearly, is to wait. Let's hear from the remaining provinces and territories, how they feel before we move to this, and we look at other examples of physician-assisted suicide, where it was not a question in terms of on the government side to bring it to the Supreme Court, when constitutional experts were clearly saying that this will be problematic, and we have in fact the exact opposite. So yeah, absolutely, there's something's amiss. They're perhaps not quite getting it.
That said, if I were Justin Trudeau, I'd be celebrating this. I'd be going out and promoting it. This is exactly what he promised. More autonomy for members of parliament, more active debate. This was a private member's bill. It wasn't a government bill. He should be out there saying, this is exactly what I said I would do when I ran for the leadership of the Liberal Party. I would give my MPs autonomy.
He is doing that, but at the same time, would this be the issue where he would be offside? I don't know. John, what do you think? Do you think he should have chosen this one?
I think he probably has, A, concerns about the constitutionality. Insurance is regulated by the provinces, not the federal government. And B, he is listening, I suspect, to the insurance lobby, which says this is information that we need in order to regulate premiums. And so he made his best case, and his backbenchers told him to go take a hike. There you go.
Last word to you. Thank you so much. That's all the time we have. I want to thank you, freelance columnist Susan Riley, John Ibbotson of the Globe and Mail, and making her Sunday Scrum debut today, the managing partner of SEM Group, Denise CLA. Denise, thank you.
Thank you.